Okay, quick summary of previous video preceding. We're rescaling a graph of a basic function, just to illustrate the process of rescaling. We started off with a set of flight coordinate axes, the x-axis and the y-axis. The x-axis went from -2 to 2, and those have been crossed out. And from, of course, the y-axis goes up from 0 to 4. And here is the graph. It was originally in white, indicating that it was a graph with a basic squaring function on the white axis. Now, we rescaled the window so the x-interval became -3,9 and the y-interval became -4,12. Okay? The x-interval from -3 to 9, if we subdivide the interval in half, 3 is going to go here halfway between -3 and 9. 0 is going to go here halfway between -3 and 3. 6 is halfway between 3 and 9. It's going to go here. On the y-axis, just to illustrate the process, we had -4 here. We had 16 here. If we, we had 12 here. It's a distance of 16. Half that distance is 8. -4 and 8 is +4. Alternatively, -4 and 12 adds up to 8, and half that is 4. And if you add two numbers and divide by 2, you get the number right in between. -4 to 4, halfway is 0. From 4 to 12, halfway is 8. So here is the way the y-axis is going to be scaled. Well, when we sketch the graph, if we have the x-axis here, then the y-axis goes through x equals 0. So the y-axis is going to have to be here. And also, the y-axis has 0 here. So the y-axis on -4 is going to be here, 0 is going to be here, 4, 8, and 12 will be here. And the x-axis has to go through the y equals 0. So we do that. And I did a bigger picture here. Here's the x-axis, -3 to 9. Here's where 0 is, and the y-axis goes through 0. And then here's the y-axis. We label it from -4 to 12 with the 0 at the x-axis, because 0 has to be, 0 of y is where the x-axis has to be. So we have to relocate the axes, and we get a graph that looks like this. Now, this picture is the same as this picture, except now we've got a new set of x and y axes. They aren't here where the white axes were, they're here and here. And the vertex of the graph is to the right and down. Well, the vertex is to the right and down. And we can see clearly from this graph what the coordinates of the various points have to be. This point here is the -1, 1 point of the basic squaring graph. It's going to be the origin of this graph, and so forth. Now, the parabola that we have pictured here, according to this x and y axis, is no longer the y equals x squared parabola, and I've asserted that the new function is 4/3 times x minus 3 quantity squared minus 4. And if you plug in 0, you should get 0. And you don't. So there's something wrong with my function, because we're squaring, and yeah, I've got the wrong function there, and I'm not going to stand here and figure out what's wrong with my 4/3 there. But there's something wrong with my 4/3. Okay, so I'm not going to deal with that. It looks like it ought to be 4/9. So reason that doesn't make sense. Okay, haven't thought that one through, I just kind of wrote it down. And I'm going to come back in a subsequent video and say what it should be.